Hey Snapchat, today I'm going to talk to you about how to moderate a tech panel. I'm going to upload this video to snapstorms.com along with all my other videos. So if you like it, share it with somebody else, especially if they're going to moderate. First tip, limit the number of speakers on your panel to 4. 5 is too many, it distracts from the discussion. The problem with too many panelists is the conversation gets disjointed. The individual panelists get to say less. The audience can't follow anything. The other problem is if you're a panelist and you turn up, you want to participate. And if you only get to talk for a little period of time and then it doesn't come back to you, you don't have as good of a panel. Another big problem people make is they don't know the time allocations that they have. So they come up with a list of, let's say, 12 questions. And if you have 20 minutes to do a panel, for example, 12 questions, you divide by 4 people, you'll never get through it all. Come up with a plan. Know your time allotment, know your number of speakers, know how much time you want per question, and build a plan. What I like to do is I build the questions I really want to ask. Let's say it's 5 or 6 questions, and I always have 3 or 4 pocket questions in case it runs longer. Number 3, prepare the interviewers in advance. Make sure they know generally what topic you're going to cover. Don't give them the exact questions. That's going to be boring. Tell them the general topic and tell them to think about it in advance. But here's what else you want to do. Tell them that you want their answers to be short and punchy and that if they go on and on, you're going to jump in and cut them off. Nothing ruins a panel more than someone who drones on and on and on with boring shit and the moderator doesn't step in. Tell your panelists this is supposed to be a debate or a discussion. Don't just pile on saying, oh, I agreed with what Bob said, and you say it again. Tell the panelists not to speak unless you have something to add or differentiate. If no one has anything to add, then move on to the next question. If you've done your plan and you know roughly you want 30-second answers, tell people that and warn them. Look, most people go on and on. I'm only going to give you 30 seconds. The single biggest failure of moderators is that they don't moderate. How pissed were all of you in the presidential debates when people let Donald Trump and Clinton go on and you're like, step in already. That's exactly what happens on panels when the moderators don't play their role. There's a polite way to do it. If you warned people in advance, then you simply step in and you say, okay, look, I heard your answer, but, and then either move to someone else and drag that person in or ask them to clarify and finish the answer. The second biggest mistake moderators make, you are not a panelist. You're a moderator. Don't you hate when there's already a panel of 5 people and the moderator themselves makes themselves a panelist? Your job as moderator is to show that you're smart by framing good questions and engaging people in a dialogue. It's not your job to speak on the topic and give an opinion when everybody else did. And if you have a panel hog, it's your job to say, okay, Dave, we already heard from you. I want to hear from Sally this time. That is the job of a moderator. Okay, can I be controversial for a minute? I would tell you to tell panelists you're not going to do introductions, but here's why. Let's say you got 25 minutes and 5 panelists and you let everyone introduce themselves. Let's say they take 1 minute each. That's 5 minutes. That's 20% of the panel. Either tell the audience if there's a printed place where they can actually read what the bios are, tell them to read it, or you do the intro by preparing in advance and you simply say it's Bob from Microsoft, Steve from Google, Sally from Facebook, whatever. Great moderators prepare. Do not wing it. Anyone who's ever moderated at the Upfront Summit knows just how anal I am. When I set up topics, I work with the moderator and I say, these are sample questions I would expect in your topic area. I always tell them, you're free to add your own questions, you're free to delete the questions, you're free to change anything you want, but, and by creating a list for them to start with, they understand just how serious I am for them to have prepared questions for the moderation. You want to know what most moderators do? Most moderators set up conference calls the day before the event with all the panelists and say, so guys, what do you want to talk about? That's bullshit. If you signed up to be a moderator, moderate and own it and do your best to make it your job.